Dear students, welcome back to CUET mock exam solution discussion of the quantitative aptitude session. So it's a comparatively easier set of questions while we are comparing with the previous one. So here our first question is a very simple elementary algebraic type of question. 6x minus 1 minus 8x minus 5 equal to 7, then the value of x. It just simplified like this: 6x minus 1 minus 8x. This minus and minus will become positive. This is equal to 7. So this is minus 2x, 6x minus 8x, that's minus 2x. Minus 1 plus 5, that's equal to plus 4, that's equal to 7. Then what is the value of 2x? If you are taking this towards right side, this is 4 minus 7. 4 minus 7. So therefore, this is x is equal to, or 2x equal to, what is 4 minus 7? Minus 3. Therefore, x is equal to minus 3 by 2. So that's a direct, simple application. If 7 by 8 of 5/4 of a number is 315, then 5/9 of that number. So here we can directly apply those values: 7 by 8 of 5/4 of a certain number. Suppose that number is k. This is 315. This is 315. Correct. This is 315. Then we are going to find out what is 5 by 9 of that number. So what is 5 by 9 of that number? Correct. How to do it? From this first step, we can find out what is k. So this is 315 into. Take the reciprocals of these values. This is 8 by 7 and this is 4 by 5. This is k. And we are going to find out what is 5 by 9 of k. So just multiply it by 5 by 9. 5 by 9. That's it. So this is a direct step of operations. Then after this, how we can solve it? We can cancel the values like this. So then we can simplify. This is 7 times. So this is 4 times of 7, that is 28. 35 will be there, that is 5 times. And we can simplify this 9 and 45, that is equal to 5 itself. So therefore this is 5 into 8 into 4. So what it will become? This is equal to 160. Here the answer is 160. Here the important understanding, you don't want to find the value of k here. Then without finding the value of k, directly we can perform this type of a chain operation. With the help of that chain operation, we can directly reach the conclusion. You can save your time. The average marks of 56 students is shown as 60. It includes a wrong entry of 92 marks instead of 29 marks. The correct average is. So there is a variation occurred in this initial average. So initial mark is shown as 60. But a wrong entry of 92 marks instead of 29 marks. The correct we have to consider. So here this 92 include, that's the wrong entry. We have to remove it and we just replace it with the 29. So in such a situation, what is the direct step? So this new average. So initial average is 60. Don't forget that. Plus change. What is the change in total? So it's a replacement. That's why. So therefore, in this case, we can directly write it's in the form of result. In such a situation, don't forget it's a case of replacement. It's a case of replacement. In such a case, situation of replacement, so result is very simple. Initial average plus change in total divided by number of observations. How we can apply this result here? What is the initial average here? Initial average is 60 plus. What is change in total? Understand that step. We are removing 92 and replacing it with the 29. So it with 29. We just divide it by the number of observations. What is the number of observations? 56 observations there. So this is a simple step of operation. Here, just simplify it further. Here this is 60 plus What is this value? This is 29 and 92. The difference, it will be equal to 3 is there, then 363 is there. This is minus 63 by 56. Or the 63 by 56, we can directly write these two values are divisible by 7. So this is 9 into 7. This is 8 into 7, like this. What is 9 by 8? As we know, 9 by 8 is equal to 1.125. 9 by 8 is 1.125. Then what is our final answer here? This is 60 minus 1.125. This is 60 minus 2, that's equal to 58. Then 125, its remaining is 875. So here the answer is 58.875. That is the first option. So this is a tricky approach for finding this kind of situation. Don't forget, this is a case of replacement, not addition or removal. So it's a replacement only. Only one observation we replaced with another one observation. Through that replacement, what happened? Our total decreased by 63. Just distribute that decrease or the change to all the observations. That's why we just divided by the number of observations. And here, we don't have any variation in the number of observations. That's a basic trick. Okay, then move to the next question here. This is 13x square minus 7 square minus 9 square. 13x square equal to 17 square minus 9 square. Find the value of x. Here, 13x square on right side, that's in the form of a plus b into a minus b. How we can write that is 17 plus 9 into 17 minus 9. So what is 17 plus 9? 26. What is 17 minus 9? 8. So therefore x square is 26 into 8 by 13. So here we can simplify it. This is equal to 16. As x square equal to 16, x equal to plus or minus 4, but in our option it contains only plus 4. Therefore take that value as 4. If the radius of a circle is increased by 17%, then its area increased by. How we can consider this one? So radius here, what's the variation? So increased by 17%, you just simply consider 100 becomes 170. Then area in the sense that you have to consider that is equal to pi r square. So area increment is nothing but that is proportional to r square. Therefore, the variation in area, so that simply take the square of these two values. Square of these two values. This is 100 square becomes 170 square. This is one method, one type of approach. So what is 100 square? 100 square is equal to 10,000. What is 117 square? So there you have to consider the calculation that's equal to 136.89. So it will be like that, 136.89. So that's the simple logic. If you consider this as 100, this is 136.89. If it is 100, this is 136.89. So you have to catch what is the variation here, 36.89% increment. So this is one method. There is another one method in the form of square type of operation. So here, if the radius is increased by a certain percentage, for example, here if you are considering, if the radius is increased by x%, we just consider. Therefore, area, what is the variation occurred in area? That is x plus x, that is 2x, x plus x. So like our successive variation result, that is x plus x into x by 100. So you can write that as x square by 100. So this is the net percentage of variation. How we can apply this result here? So it is 17%. So while we are applying 17%, this is 2 into 17 plus 17 square by 100. So this much percentage. What is 2 into 17? That is 34. So this is 289, therefore 2.89. Just add up together, what you will get? This is equal to 36.89% increase. So therefore, the answer is 36.89%. Either you can apply this ratio-wise approach, that means 100 becomes 107. What is the variation occurred in an area? That means take the square and consider what is the variation here. So while we are considering this variation part, you have to take this 1000, 10,000 as 100. Therefore, put one decimal here after 2 places from right side. In the similar way, here also you have to place that decimal point and think about 100 become 136.89. So that's the answer. Otherwise, you can apply this successive variation result in similar kind of problems. Then move to the next question. A bank offers 20% compound interest for half year. So understand this 20% is offering half yearly, not annually. Usually our question contains this percentage values per annum, rate of interest per annum. But in this question specifically given 20% half year. A customer deposits 2,800 each on 1st January and 1st July of a year. At the end of the year, the amount would have gained by way of interest. So like that we have to consider this thing. So how it will be this type of a calculation? What is the most easiest type of approach in such a situation? Here 2 amounts we have. The first one, it's 20%. It's counted for the first year. So there we are considering our first amount. So this first amount or first sum. Correct. So there's first sum or first investment. There we are considering compound interest for first half year. First half year. Correct. So that is simply 20% of, so 2,800. What is 20% of 2,800? So that is equal to 560. Clear? That's equal to 560. And the second one, so there we have to consider, that is the second half year, what will be the value? So that is compound interest for second half year. So that quite simple, this 560 plus 20% of 560. 20% of 560. Clear? So that's the logic here. So that is equal to 560 plus, what is 20% of 560? You just take 560 is 10%. So that's a very important understanding. Here first year compound interest is 560. It's 20% more. That's the second year's compound interest. And similarly, the third year compound interest, if you need, third half year's compound interest, if you need to find out, that is again 20% more than this amount, this further sum, final sum. Here, this is 20% of this value, that's equal to 112. So therefore, this sum is equal to 672. So these are the compound interest for first half year and second half year. Then we are considering the second amount. Second amount. So what happened? It's deposited in 1st July. That means exact mid of the year. So therefore, there is only one compound interest earned by this amount. So therefore, compound interest for a half year. So that we already found this 560 because that's the same operation here. This is 20% of 2,800, that is 560. We have to find out what is the net compound interest. Therefore, here we have to consider the total compound interest as per these steps of calculations, how we can find it. So here, total compound interest. Which are the values here? First 560 plus second half year's value, that is 672. Again, the second amount is gained 560 here. Just add up together what you will get. So this is 2. So this is equal to 19. 1 is there. So this is 1792. So this is the answer. This way we can catch this type of questions answers. So directly you can do it by mind actually. This 20% of this value. Just add 20% of this value too. the initial interest, then we will get that becomes 672. And second amount, it gained another 560. Therefore, add up together, we'll get the values like this. This is one method. And if you are constrained, the percentage-wise approach, here another one method is also possible. So here we have to consider the net rate of interest we are constrained in this type of operations. Correct. Here, the amount deposited in January 1st, so that we can consider first deposit. So we are going to find out net rate of interest. Net rate of compound interest, right? So on the first amount or first investment, what happened here? 20% 2 times successively there, because first half year is there and second half year is there. Then you can apply the result 20 plus 20 plus 20 into 20 by 100. That's the successive variation. We already discussed that point. A quantity is increased by X%, then successively increased by another Y%. It will become, the net result is X plus Y plus X into Y by 100%. This compound interest is basically a successive increment. Therefore, we are catching this net rate of interest with the help of this calculation. Simply, this is 44%. 44%. And second amount. So that's only one time it's compounding there. That is directly 20%. That's it, because half yearly only counting. Understand that period. One is from January 1st, second is July 1st, exact middle. So what is the net rate here? Net rate of compound interest, that is 44 plus 20, so which is equal to 64%. 64% means 64% of the principal. In both the cases, principals are same. That's why we are performing this kind of an operation. Therefore, net compound interest as per this calculation, that is 64% of 2,800. Understand that very important point. Here the principals are same. That's why we are doing the operations like this. So here what you want to do, you just simply multiply 64 and 28 here. So here we will get 1792. Is it easy? This way also we can catch. So with the help of rate of interest. 4 hours after a goods train passed this station, and the train traveling at a speed of 60 km per hour following that goods train passed through that station. If after passing the station, the train overtakes the goods train in 8 hours, what is the speed of the goods train? Yeah, here, 4 hours after a goods train passed the station, and the train traveling at a speed of 60 km per hour. So here we have to find the time taken by these two trains. Good. Here we just consider the time taken by both the trains for covering a constant distance, how to consider it. So here these two trains, first train, so that we can name it as A, and the second train, that is B. First we are thinking about the time taken. So here A and B. So what is the time taken for covering a constant distance? Because when they will meet at a particular point, 4 hours after a goods train passed station, another train traveling, and it overtakes the goods train in 8 hours. So what's the total duration there after the starting of the first train? So the first train started after 4 hours, second train started, and it took 8 hours to overtake the first train. Therefore, this overtaking instant, it occurred after 8 hours of the second train. Start from the start of the second train B, then after that 8 hours, so the second train overtake the first train. So this is the ratio of these two values. So our time ratio. What is the time ratio? Further, we are simplifying this one. This is 3:2. 3:2. If time ratio is like this, what is speed ratio? So we already discussed such a point in connection with this time and distance concepts earlier. The speed, whenever we are thinking about a constant distance, what is the ratio of the time? Its inverse is the ratio of speed. Therefore, we can directly write this is 2:3. This is 2:3. And what it is given? The another train traveling at a speed of 60 km/h, then speed of the first train we have to find out. This train, its speed is 60 km/h. It is given. Then we have to find the speed of this first train. Think about it. If 3 is representing 60 km/h, what is the speed of this first train? If 3 is 60 km/h, this is 40 km/h because 2 is representing 40 km/h. Clear? So that's a tricky approaching style in this type of question, ratio-wise approach. Ticket for an adult is ₹1,000 and a child is ₹500. One child goes free with 2 adults. If a group has 17 adults and 5 children, what is the discount percent the group gets? So in such a question, so that's a comparison type of question. Here you have to consider the ticket fee for adult and child. So here the fee for adult and child are in the ratio 2:1. That's a fee ratio, right? So because that 1,000 and 500, you can take it as 2 and 1. That's it. One child goes free with 2 adults. That's also we have to consider. One child go with 2 adults. If a group of 17 adults and 5 children, so this actual expenditure. So here 17 adults, its cost is ₹2 per ticket. So we just take the ratio value. That's it. For simplifying, because we are going to find out the percentage value. You don't want to put that 1,000 and 500 directly there. 70 into 2 and 5 into 1. So this is equal to 39 rupees. This is the actual expenditure. And here the discount that we have to consider. What is the discount they enjoyed? So here, one child goes free with 2 adults. Here we have 5 children. If there were 10 adults, then also these 5 children will get a free entry. Here, 17 adults, that means we have adequate number of adults. So therefore, these 5 children, they will entirely get free. That means 5 children, their entry is free. So therefore, that is 5 rupees. So the actual expenditure is 39. So we have to spend 5 rupees less instead of 39. So like that. Then we can find out what is the discount percentage here. This 5 is what percent of 39? 5 is what percent of 39? So in such a situation, you just simply consider if it will be 5 by 80, then which will be the value? 5 by 80. Instead of 5 by 39, that is 5 by 80, which will be the value there. Like that we just consider. 5 by 40, not 80, 5 by 40. So one more. So this is equal to 1 by 8, right? So what is 1 by 8? Which is equal to 12.5%. It's a quite familiar value. As we know, 1 by 4 equal to 25%, 1 by 8 equal to exactly half. So our answer is very closest to this value. So 12.5. So which is from the options we can take as a convenient figure here, that is equal to 12.82%. Correct? 12.82%. So the answer is option C. A shopkeeper sold walnut at the rate of 1190 a kilogram and bears a loss of 10%. Now, if he decides to sell 1249.5 per kilogram, what will be the result? So that's a very interesting kind of question. So one of the challenging set of questions when we are considering the calculation part, how it will become. or we here what is the variation that we have to catch. Here it is given that he sold it at 1190. So it made a loss of 10%. Therefore, you can consider 90% of the cost price is 1190. Got it? So 90% of the cost price is 1190. That's logic if there is a loss of 10%. Then he decides to sell it at 1249.5. So we have to find out that is what percentage of the cost price. Clear? So therefore, we can write this step in this way. 1190, that is 90%. Then 1249.5 is what percentage? From that step, we can catch the answer. How it will become this step of operation? This is simply 90 by 1190 into 1249.5. Understood? So it's a little bit difficult to solve that calculation part. Even though after simplifying this one, what you will get, I just directly give the value. So if you are simplifying this, you will get this is equal to 94.5. What's the inference here? This is 94.5. You just try to simplify it. Here this is 94.5. What is the inference here? When there is 90% means 90% of the cost price. This is 94.5 means here the selling price is 94.5% of the cost price. In this new situation, therefore selling price, that is 94.5% of cost price. So that means, therefore here, what is the loss here? Therefore there is 5.5% of loss. Got it? So this is 5.5% loss. Then which is another more convenient kind of operation in such a step. So this is a basic idea. Here we connected it in the form of percentage values. So there one more interesting and smart way of approach is possible in such a situation. Here we just consider this cost prices will be in the form. This is 1190 and 1249.5. So this is 1190 and 1249.5. So what's the difference here? Like that we have to catch. What is the difference here? 1190 and 1249.5. You just subtract it. 1249.5 minus 1190. So this is 959.5. So this is 59.5 more. So look at here. Whether there any relationship between this 1190 and 59.5? Have you got? So this is exactly 1 by 2 of 1 by 9. 1 by 2 of 1 by 9. Sorry, 190. So therefore we can write this is 1 by 20 of this value. That means 1 by 20 more. And we are connecting it to the percentage values. We are connecting it to the percentage values. This is 90%. This is 90%. 90% of cost price. And here, it's 1 by 20. What is 1 by 20? This fraction we have to take here. What is 1 by 20 of 90? 1 by 20 of 90. So that's equal to 4.5. We have to add 4.5 to this value. Therefore, this is 94.5%. That means this value is representing 94.5% of the cost price. Which means if there is 94.5, this is 94.5% of the cost price. That means the new selling price. So that means there is a loss of, what is the difference here from 100? So this is 5.5%. So smart way of approach in such a situation or this type of an operation. This way we can do. First of all, you have to understand here quantity wise difference you have to take. You have to convert it in the form of fractional or percentage wise decrease. Then only you can apply this one. Okay. A man is 5 times as good a workman as Bhairav. A man is 5 times as good a workman as Bhairav. And therefore is able to finish a job in 48 days less than Bhairav. Working together, they can do it. So it's a combined efficiency type question. But we have the direct results when we have 2 persons there. Their individual times are available. Here we have to consider their efficiencies. So Aman is 5 times so good as a workman as Bhairav. So therefore Aman and Bhairav we have to take. So here Aman alone, so Aman is 5 times good as Bhairav in the sense their efficiency we have to take. If Bhairav is 1 unit efficient, then Aman is 5 units. Therefore, this is the ratio of their efficiencies. Then we have to consider. And therefore, is able to finish a job in 48 days less than Bhairav. That's the point, important point. Therefore, we have to take the time. So, in such a kind of less than arrangement, we have to apply this time ratio. If the efficiency ratio is 5:1, time ratio is 1:5. From here, we can catch what's the difference here. This 4. This 4 is representing, that means Aman required 48 days less than Bhairav. It's mentioned here. This 4 is representing 48 days. As 4 is representing 48 days, here you can catch what this 1 represents and what this 5 represents. Clear? Like that we can catch. This 4 is representing 48 days. 4 into 12 will be equal to 48. Therefore, this is 12. This is 60. So that means Aman alone can complete this work in 12 days. And Bhairav alone can complete it in 60 days. Then in how many days they together can complete it? So that's the concept here. Therefore, the time taken by Aman and Bhairav together. So time taken together. Time taken together is, we know that that's a direct result, 20 into 60 by 20 plus 60. That's a direct result. XY by X plus Y. If A can complete a work in X days, B can complete the same work in Y days, then the time they together required is X into Y by X plus Y. They're also like that. Here, if you're doing this one, this is 12 into 60 divided by 12 plus 60, that's equal to 72. Then for the simplifying, this is equal to 10 days. So that means they together required 10 days for the completion of this work. So this is an easy way of approach to such a question. Understand, you have to convert this efficiency ratio in time. Because in this question, it's clearly mentioned that Aman required 48 days less. That's a difference in days is given. Therefore, you have to find the individual number of days they required to finish the same work. In an army selection process, the ratio of selected to unselected was 6:1. If 90 less had applied and 30 less selected, the ratio of selected to unselected would have been 8:1. How many candidates had applied in the process? So there one simple logic in whenever we are considering similar type of question, one simple logic, it depends upon this initial ratio, 6:1. So initially 6:1 members there, that means the total strength initially was a multiple of 7. If there is only one option that has a multiple of 7, we can conclude it easily. If there are multiple options, no use. So therefore, we can consider its job. So here, this we have to categorize like selected and unselected. Selected and unselected. So therefore, selected and unselected. So selected is 6x, unselected is 1x. 90 less applied and 30 less selected. 90 less applied and 30 less selected. So therefore, out of a group of students, initial number of students, 90 we are removing, and that's removing group 30 are selected number of students. Therefore, rest 60 are unselected number of students. That's the removal occurred here. Selected 30 reduced and unselected 60 reduced. Then this new ratio is 8:1. That is. Therefore, we can find the value of x through the cross multiplication. Just do the cross multiplication here. This is 6x minus 30 is equal to 8x minus 480. Therefore, 2x is equal to 450. Hence, the value of x is equal to 225. X is equal to 225. What we have to find out, how many candidates had applied for the process. Therefore, total number of applicants initially. So that is 6x plus 1x. So which is equal to 7x. So that is 7 into 225. 7 into 225. Just multiply it together. What is 7 into 225? Here, that will end in 5. And we know that that's in the range of 14 or 1,400, 1,500 range. Here, look at the options. This is only the possible value here. So therefore, that this product is 1,575. So like that way also, you can skip the step in the final step of calculations. In a triangle, the length of the side opposite the angle, which measures 30 degrees, is 12 centimeter. What is the length of the side opposite to the angle? Measure 60 degree. Understand which type of a triangle it is. It's a right angled triangle. It's a right angled triangle. Got it? So first we just consider it's a right triangle. So how we identified it's a right triangle? Because it is given that one angle is 30 degree, another one is 60 degree. Suppose this angle 30 degree, this is 60 degree. So automatically the third one, we know that sum of all these three angles equal to 180 degree. You have to keep it in your mind. There are an important ratio of sides here. The ratio is 1:√3:2. It's an important Pythagorean triplet. What it means, the side opposite to 30 degree is represented by 1. Side opposite to 60 degree, that is √3. Side opposite to 90 degree or the hypotenuse, that we have to express as 2. It will help you to find the measures like 30 degrees, 60 degree as part of trigonometry operations. Anyway, we can connect it with the original quantity. It is given that the side opposite to 30 degree is 12 centimeter. This is actually 12 centimeter. If it is actually 12 centimeter, what this √3 represents? √3 represents. So if it is 12 centimeter, this is 12 √3 centimeter. Correct? So because here the sides like this 1 is representing 12 centimeter. We have to find out the side opposite to 60 degree. Here side opposite to 60 degree is represented by √3. If 1 is 12 centimeter, this is 12 √3 centimeter. So with the help of that relationship, we can easily catch our answer is 12 √3 centimeter. Volume of a cylinder is 13860 cubic centimeter. If the circumference of its base is 132, find the curved surface area of the cylinder. Here, understand that results properly. First of all, if you are considering a cylinder, what is volume? Volume, that is pi r square h. And what is the circumference of base? Circumference of base is nothing but that's a circle. Base is a circle. So therefore, that part also we just consider circumference of base. So what is the circumference of a circle? That's same as the result here, that is 2 pi r. Other one result that you have to consider, that's a curved surface area. So what is the curved surface area? So that is 2 pi RH. That's it. So here we have the volume. So that is 13860. And circumference is 132. Find the curved surface area. Only H we required from this step. Correct. So how to find it? Otherwise, we can directly multiply this value with H. That will be the answer. Okay. So then how to do the operation here? First, this volume by circumference of the base. Volume is pi r square H and circumference of the base is 2 pi r. So here the measures are 13860 divided by 132. Correct. So from this step, what you will get? So here we will get the value like RH. Pi cancelled, 1r become cancelled. This is RH by 2 is equal to this value. So then just simplify it, 13860 by 132. 13860 and we divided it by 132. One time here, that is 132. Remainder, it will become 660. So the 5 times here. So that is, so here one more important step, one usual step of mistake we are performing here, 6. So next step, what it is? So 66 is there. The 66 is won't lie here. Therefore, this is 0 you just put. Then after that only you have to write the 0. So don't forget that point. Okay. Here this is equal to 660. It's finished. Otherwise, mistakenly we may take that as 15, like previously I have done. So this is 105. So this is 105. That means RH by 2 equal to 105. Therefore, R into H. So that's equal to 210. What do we have to find? A curved surface area. So this is the curved surface area result. Therefore, take it directly. What is curved surface area here? Curved surface area. So that is 2 pi RH. So here this is 2 into pi means 22 by 7. And this kinds of all the questions we are using the value of pi in the form of fractions because a question doesn't contain any kind of those pi values. Therefore, directly use it. 2 pi RH. So here this is 22 by 7. And RH we already got, that's equal to 210. Directly we can simplify it like this. Got it? So that's a trick here. We already got the value of RH. Just substitute here. So then simplify it. So then how it will become? That's equal to 44 into 30. So what is this value? 44 into 30 here. Then we can check here, this step. Here 2 into 22 into 30, how it will become? This is equal to 44 into 30. What will get? This is 0 is there, 12 is there, 12 plus 1, 30 is here. Therefore, the answer is 1320 centimeter square or square centimeter. Here the answer is 1320. It's not in the set of options here. 1320 is the answer. Move to the next question. So it's a question from trigonometry. So that's the concept of allied angles. Here, allied angles. Allied angles. So I'm not going to explain too much about these allied angles, only just give you the basic idea here. So this is the basic result. In this case, I'm using the idea tan pi plus theta. So which is equal to tan theta. Our given expression, that is 4 pi by 3. Look at that value. Here tan 4 pi by 3. How we can split it? This tan 4 pi by 3 we can split in the form of pi plus pi by 3. Pi plus pi by 3. So as per this allied angle result of tan version, so this is equal to tan pi by 3. So this is tan pi by 3. What is tan pi by 3? Tan pi by 3 is equal to root 3. Therefore, we can directly write the value here is root 3. It's a typical form question. It's a frequently asked question, various exams. So it's very basic type forms. So the students who are not at all familiar with these all trigonometric concepts, you have to make a basic study on it. Rarely only you will get the questions from trigonometry in your CET exam. But even though it's better if you are collecting some of the basic inputs from this topic. So what are allied angles? What are the standard angle measures? These all points. Move to the next question. 40 men took a dip in a pool 30 meters long and 25 meters broad. If the average water displaced by a man is 5 meters cube, what will be the rise in the water level of the pool? So this water level, it's in the form of a cuboid, like that we just consider. This pool will be in the form of a cuboid. So what is a measure or how we can find the volume of a cuboid, like that we can consider? So the 40 men took a dip in a pool 30 meters long and 25 meter broad. So we just consider that pool, it will be here the shape of the pool. How we can consider that shape of the pool? It will be like in the form of a cuboid. In the form of a cuboid. Suppose if you are drawing that cuboid. So it's in the form of a cuboid like. So here, which are the measures here? So here the measures we can consider 30 meter long. So here 30 meter long and 25 meter broad. This is 25 meter and height also be here. We are going to find out that height. Correct. And this volume, so that is 25 into 30 into height. That's the volume of a cuboid like this. So that's the total quantity of water. So this average water displaced by a man is 5 meter cube. This quantity we have to consider. There's 40 men over there and 5 meter cube over there. That's the total volume. Therefore, this is 40 into 5. So these both the quantities are in meter cube. Both the quantities are in meter cube. So therefore, whenever we are simplifying this one, we will get this heights in meter, but our answer in centimeter. Don't forget that point. So therefore, height, how we can write? This is 40 into 5 divided by 25 into 30. So how this 40 into 5? 40 men over there and the average displacement is 5 meter cube. Therefore 40 into 5, that's the total quantity they displaced in total. So this many meters. Then how we can convert a meter into centimeter? Just multiply it by 100. So this many centimeters, just simplify it. So while we are simplifying this one, this we can do, this is 5 into 5. So this is 8 over here. And the 0, 0 we can cancel. This is 80 by 3 centimeter. Further simplified, when we divide this 80, so that's equal to 2 is 2 into 3, 60. Then 20 will be there, that is 6.666. So this is 26.666, not percentage, this many centimeters. So the answer is option B. Okay, then the next question. A can complete a work in 20 days, B can complete the same work in 25 days. If both of them work together in 3 days, what percent of the total work will be completed? It's a frequently tested question because some of our previous set of mock exams also you appeared the similar kind of questions. First of all, we just consider the time taken by A. A required 20 days and B required 25 days. So then they together required, A and B together required. Directly we can apply xy by x plus y. So that's a direct result. That means 20 into 25 by 20 plus 25 days. They together required. So this is the total time they required to finish the work. But we have to find out in 3 days what percentage of the total work they completed. Okay, A plus B is 20 into 25 by 20 plus 25 days. So we have to consider in 3 days what percent of the total work will be completed. So then the required fraction. So therefore the required fraction. So therefore in 3 days what percent of the total work. So here it's not the case of fraction, it's percentage. Therefore the required percentage. Required percentage. So in 3 days, so he worked on 3 days, but actual number of days is this one. This is how we can find out. This is equal to 500 by 45 into 100. So this many percentage. How it will become? 3 into 45 by 500 into 100%. Simplified. So here we can cancel like this. This is 9 times. Therefore, the answer is 27%. Understand this step properly. Because Charlie, he required this many days. But he worked only for 3 days, then what percent of the total work? If the question is about what fraction of the work, we just simply consider this fraction. So here it's a case of percentage calculation, therefore the answer is 27%. The length of 2 parallel sides of a trapezium is 18 meter and 24 meter. Its height is 12 meter. What is its area? So I'm directly giving the result for finding the answer, such a question. So if it is a case of a trapezium, its area, that is half of h into a plus b. So it's a trapezium. What is a trapezium here? If you are considering the trapezium, it will be like, so 2 parallel sides and the sides connecting like this. So this is a trapezium. So in this trapezium, these 2 are parallel sides. Here the parallel sides are 18 and this is 24. And this height, in the sense, this is the height here. This height is 12 meter. Here, this is the result, half of. That means here, these parameters we can write like this. This is h. Suppose this is a, this is b. So that's why this is half of h into a plus b. Applying that result, we can directly find it. Therefore, here this is half of 12 into sum of these values, that is 18 plus 24. Here this is 6. Here we can cancel, this is 6. 6 into, what is the sum of here? This is equal to 42. So this is 2 into 6, that's equal to 12. 1 is there, 24 plus 1, 25. The answer is 252 meter square. If 2 successive discounts of 50%, 10% are offered, then what is the net discount? Here also we have the direct result that we can apply instead of considering these assumptions or assumed values. 2 successive discounts of X% and Y% will be equal to a net discount of X plus Y minus X into Y by 100%. Just remember this one. It's an important result. 2 successive discounts of 50% and 10%. Just apply this result. So therefore, our required answer, this is 50% and 10%. So just applying that result, here it will be. So 50% and 10%, it will be 50 plus 10 minus 50 into 10 by 100. So that's the net percentage of discount. Here 50 plus 10, that's equal to 60 minus 50 into 10 by 100, that is 5. So here this is 55% discount. So the answer is, that is 55%. Directly you can reach the answer of this question. So this is the most easiest way. 3 bottles of equal capacity contain mixtures of milk and water in the ratio 2:5, 3:4 and 4:5 respectively. These 3 bottles are emptied into a large bottle. What will be the ratio of milk and water respectively in this large bottle? Here, this kind of a question here, we have to make the total quantities are equal. That means it is given that 3 bottles of equal capacity. Suppose here we are considering these 3 bottles here and milk and water in the ratio. So we just write milk and water ratio in each bottle. So the first bottle, it contains 2:5. Second bottle, that is 3:4. And third bottle, that is 4:5. 4:5. You just simply consider what is the sum here. This is sum 7, this is sum 7, but this is 9. It's contradicting that basic condition equal capacity. So here we have to make the quantities are equal. If we want to make these quantities are equal, we just multiply this first 2 ratio values by 9 and the last ratio value by 7. We got the trick. So this is the basic trick of this type of operation. So then what is the changed ratio here that you have to take? So that means when we multiply it by 9 means multiplied by this ratio, 9 by this ratio value. So that is 2:5. This is 2 into 9, that is 18. And 5 into 9, that is 45. That is 18:45. Again, that's the ratio, equivalent ratio of 2:5. So for making the quantity or the capacity of 3 bottles are equal, we are just multiplying these 2 ratio values by 9. Similarly, the second ratio value also multiplied by 9. This is 3 into 9, 27. And 4 into 9, 36. But here the third ratio value that you have to multiply by 7 only, this is 28 and 35. Just add up together. So these are the quantities of milk. So when we are adding this value, 8 plus 7, 15 plus 8, so that's equal to 23. 2 is there. 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 plus 1, 7. So our answer start with the 73. Look at the options. All values start with 73. Otherwise, we can catch it from there. Okay. Then look at the second one. So here, if you're adding this one, 16. 16 is there. So 1 is there. This is 116. Therefore, which will be the answer? That is option B. So this way we can catch. And the one more trick I can explain here. Here, the trick is quite simple from this data. Here we know that in each step, 63, 63, 63, that's the total quantity. 63, 63, 63. Got it? That simply total quantity is nothing but 3 times 63. So what is 3 times 63? That's equal to 3339. So this is 189. So you just simply check. In most of the cases, the trick will work out. You just simply check which ratio value sum will be equal to 189. Which ratio value sum will be equal to 189. Suppose if we are considering the first ratio, that is 73E and 106. So there the ratio values, it will become 73 plus 106. That equal to, here this is equal to 179. Not 189. Therefore, this is not the answer. Second, 73 plus 116. Yeah, that is 189. There is a chance. And 73 plus 113 is not 109. This is 189. This is also not 189. That trick is also applicable instead of this kind of conversions. Got it? The average age of 6 members of a family, 20 years. If the age of the servant is included, the average age increased by 25%. What is the age in years of the servant? This is an inclusion type question. This type of an inclusion type question. Initial average as 20 years. Initial average 20 years. there is an increase of 25%. So this is 25% increase. What is 25% of 20 years? So that is 1 by 4 of this value, that is 5 years. So there is an increase of 5 years. Therefore, the new average is 25 years. Clear? So this is initial average, this is new average, 5 years, that's a change in average. If you need to find the age of this newly included person, so in such a type of questions, so therefore new observation is simply, we can write it like this. So here the new average plus initial number, here new initial number of persons. So initially there were 6 members and one more new member also joined. This is new average plus initial number into increase in average. Increase or change, in this case change, yeah. So it is the case of increase, change in average. So that's a simple trick. We can directly consider the step of operation. New observation is new average plus initial number into change in average. So how we can execute here, this is new average. What is new average? 25 plus, what was the initial number? 6. What is the change in average? 5 years. So directly we can connect it. So this is equal to 25 plus 30, which will be equal to 55 years. Correct. So this is one way to find the answer of similar type of questions. So another one way, that's a conventional type of approach. That means we are considering what was the initial total, what was the final total. How it will become, suppose instead of considering initial total, this is a basic idea. So therefore, initial total. So that is, there were 60 members, their average age is 20. Therefore, that is 120 years. So new total. Don't forget, here we have 7 members. One more member joined. And new average is 25. What it is? 175 years. That's it. So the difference between these two values is the new member's age. So therefore, new observation. That means the age of the new member. Here we are considering it's in the normal way. So that means initial total of the observations, new total of the observations, then the new observation, that is new total minus initial total, finish. So that's also 55. Either you can catch the answer through this way also. For an article, the profit is 190% of the cost price. If the cost price increased by 10% but the selling price remains the same, then the profit is what percent of selling price? Here it's a tricky statement. Understand that finally we have to catch the profit in terms of selling price. So you just consider the cost price and selling price. Here cost price, you just consider that is 100. An article, the profit for an article, the profit is 190% of the cost price. So if the profit is 190%, then selling price is 290. Because 190 adding to 100, then it will become 290. The cost price is increased by 110. So new situation, cost price is 110, but the selling price remains the same. That is 290 itself. So here, what is the profit? Here the profit, that's the difference between these two values, that's equal to 180. We have to catch, usually we know that the profit percentage is calculated based on the cost price. But here, we have to find out it's what percentage of the selling price. So therefore, our required percentage, this profit is what percent of the selling price. Profit is what percent of the selling price. Or this is 18 by 29 into 100%. How we can simplify it? Look at the options. whether there are any convenient figures. So you can take the nearest values. Based on the nearest values, we can catch the answer. Suppose we just consider if it is 18 by 30, how it will become 18 by 30. So I just add 1 to the denominator for making these two values are divisible by 6. So when we divide this by 6, this is 3 by 5. What is the answer here? That is 60%. What is 3 by 5? That is 60%. So look at here, this is by 29, therefore that is slightly greater than 60%. So in the given set of options, which is the convenient figure, that is 62%. So the answer is 62%. A, B, C are 3 students. A got 18% more marks than B and 12% less than C. If B got 220 marks, how much marks C has got? Here, A got 18 marks more than B. So it's a comparing ratio concept, but with the help of algebra, we can catch it. Suppose the mark of A. So that is 18 marks more than B. We can write it like this. A scored 80 marks more than B means just add 18% to 100. That will become 180. 18% more means just add 18 to 100. So it becomes 180. So we can write it like this. The same A, it's again, so more than B and 12% less than C. So this A again is 12% less than C. How we can write it? So when 18% more, at that time we express that as 100 plus 18. Here it is 12% less, you have to subtract it from 100. So when we subtract it from 100, this is 88% of C. Now we got these two values are, that is 118% of B is same as 88% of C. You can avoid percent of from both the places because we are going to frame a ratio here. This is 88 by 118. We can simplify these two values by 2, that is 44 by. What about this one? This is equal to 59. Clear? Yes. So then we are connecting it. We are going to connect it. So B is to C. We got 44 is to 59. So what the given additional data here? If B got 220 marks, this 44 is representing 220. Then what this 59 represents? It's a direct unitary kind of approach here. We know that 44 into 5 will be equal to 220, therefore 59 into 5. What is 59 into 5? So this is equal to 45, 4 is there, 25 plus 4, 29. So the answer is option B, 295. So this is the final set of data interpretation. Given below shows the number of audience in a multi-screen theater for 3 shows. So screen 1, screen 2, screen 3. And first show, second show, and third show are distributed here. And audience number in 100 units. Suppose in such kind of data interpretation question, when you have to take it seriously, this unit part, if the question related to unit, then only you have to take it. Got it? So here, what is the percentage increase in the number of audience in screen 1 from second show to third show? So screen 1, we have to take screen 1. Its second show is 3. Second show is 3. Second show to third show we have to take. Second show is 3. And third show from screen 1, that is 6. So this 3 becomes 6. How it will become? In second show it is 3, third show it is 6. Look at the change. What is the increase here? Increase is 3 out of 3. So when we are considering the percentage value, what's the percentage of increase here? 3 out of 3. So that difference is what percent of the initial value? That's a percentage of increase, right? So this is equal to 100%. So there is 100% increase. It's easy to solve. Second question, for the second show, the number of audience in screen 3 is how much more than the number of audience in screen 1? For the second show, number of audience in screen 3. Suppose if you are considering the second show, this second. Number of audience in screen 3 is how much more than the number of audience in screen 1. Number of audience in screen 1. Here we have to take the difference. In this question, here 3 and screen 1, 3, screen 3, that is 7. Correct. Here 3 is representing 300 audience. So this is 700 audience. We had to take the difference. The 700 is how much more than 300. It's not the case of percentage variation. It's the constant wise or the quantity wise variation. What's the increment here? So there is an increment of 400. Therefore, our answer is option C. In such type of quantity based questions, we have to use that unit here. This is in 100 units. Final question, what is the percentage increase in the total number of audience from second show to third show? Here second show, we have to take these values all together. Second show, 7, 4.53. What is the sum of these all values? 7 plus 3, 10. This is 14.5. And 2, second show to third show. What is the sum here? 6 plus 4, 10 plus 7.5. This is 17.5. Take these two values together. Like that we can consider. What is the percentage of increase in the total number from 14.5 to 17.5. So what's the increase here? Increase of 3 here. So we are going to find out 3 is what percent of 14.5. So this we are going to find out. So you can avoid that decimal value if it's required. If it's required, then how it will become? So this is 6 divided by, multiply both these values by 2. So 14.5 its twice is 29 into 100, right? So we just simplify it. This is 600 by 29. So if there is confusing set of values, then only you have to do it. Otherwise, you can do the approximate type of operation. Anyway, here the options are a little bit closer. Therefore, we can check which will be the most accurate type of operation. Here, this is 600 divided by 29. How many times it lies here? This is 2 times of 29. That's equal to 58. 20 will be there, right? That means 0 times. So this is 20 point something. So further, if you need to take one more step, so this is 29. How many times lies here? So this is 6 times, right? This is 54. 5 is there. 12 plus 5, that's equal to 174. So this remains, it will become 26 and so on. So look at the options, which will be the nearest to such value, that's equal to 20.69. Clear? So this is approximately 20.69. Like that we can catch. What is the approximate kind of approach? 29. What is 10% of 29? Like that also we can catch. Here, instead of doing the operations like this, what is 10% of 29? So that's equal to 2.9. Therefore, think about what is 20% of 29. That's twice of this value. That's equal to 5.8. Our answer is very close to 20%. Slightly greater than 20%. So if this 22.24 option is not confusing you, how we can make that sure? This is because the idea is slightly greater than 20%. How much greater than 20%? 5.8, we have to add 0.2 only. So this denominator's 1% is more than 0.2. Therefore, our answer is less than 21%, like that. So answer is greater than 20%, but less than 21%. Only one possible option there, that is 20.69%. So these are the set of questions from this mock exams. Here, almost all the quant questions are. As usual, here also, these are some easy type of questions, but here you experience the presence of trigonometry that you have to keep it in your mind, because very rarely you may get some of the fundamental type of questions from those topics. Rest of the concepts are not much strange because already you are familiar with various those types of questions and its approaching styles. So day by day, through your practice, you can experience that kind of an improvement in your performance. So you have to practice well right now. We can wind up. Thank you.